So it's pretty crazy that I went from that to this. I'm Brad, a not-so-single dad, and today I'm gonna talk to you guys about things that I wish I knew before I started my fitness journey. About 6 months ago, I really changed things up. Now, it's been about a 2-year process for me to get to where I am today, and when I started, I was actually 210 pounds. I didn't know what I was doing because I wasn't dieting correctly, nor was I doing any of the things in this video. So today, I'm gonna talk to you guys about some of the things that I've been able to pick up in the last 6 months. If you've got quarantine weight, if you need to lose 5, 10, 20, or even more pounds, just know it's totally possible, and it's totally possible without cardio. So one of the first things that I learned early on when I started losing weight was that the number on the scale matters far less than your physicality or your physique. For a little while there, when I first started especially, I was getting a lot of what we call newbie gains, which is the biggest blast of muscle growth that you can get during your life, and that's in the first 2 to 2.5 years that you start working out heavily. I started getting really down because after several weeks and I look at the scale, I was still the same weight. But what I did notice was that my pants were fitting looser, and overall, like, my clothes were just fitting a little bit better because I was replacing some of that fat mass with new lean muscle. Consider, if you were to lose 30 pounds right now, what would your body look like underneath all of that fat? After getting rid of some of that unnecessary bulk, you're probably gonna look a little bit scrawny and deflated. Don't worry so much about the scale. Worry about the way that you look in the mirror and the way that your clothes fit, and especially the way that you feel about yourself. So the best way that you can track your physique over time is definitely through progress pictures. You don't have to post them anywhere. These are purely for you, but being able to look back at progress photos even from just a few weeks ago or months ago, I can see a huge difference in my physique. I can see way more muscle definition. Not only do I know that I'm stronger and that I feel better, I can go back and look at the photo evidence and be able to see the progress that I've made. Something else that I overlooked for a really long time when I first got started was just how much rest you actually need to let your muscles and your nervous system completely recuperate between workouts. And I was convinced that I needed to be in the gym every single free moment that I had, and it was really good for getting momentum going and getting into a flow of actually getting up and going to the gym. After a while, I learned that I really could have been working out like a third as much and still had fantastic results because I was putting my body into kind of a survival mode where there was so much stimulus all the time that the body didn't have enough time to grow. It barely even had time to heal, and your body's certainly going to heal itself before it starts growing. Start off at 3 or 4 days a week. You really don't want to overload your muscles too much or shock your nervous system because you'll go into this survival mode and it can totally halt your progress. This is going to vary for people depending on your genetics and your age. I'm in my mid 30s at this point, so I definitely require more rest. So I took up a routine that's only 4 days a week, so I get 3 solid full days off of rest. Now on those days off, you certainly can do cardio or do other physical activities. We're gonna get to the cardio portion of this video in a little bit, but in general, you should have at least 2 full days off a week, so that way you get some new muscle growth going, because lean muscle mass burns calories even while you are in a state of rest. You wanna make sure you're getting a full 8 to 10 hours of sleep. It's a call to bed, guys. It's not just for disappointing your wives and girlfriends anymore. Something else that I missed for at least the first 18 months of my fitness journey was a concept called progressive overload. Earlier, I talked about when you cut the fat off, you might look a little bit deflated. If I'd have been implementing progressive overload from the beginning, then that wouldn't even have been a problem. What progressive overload means is that each time that you do an exercise and you're able to complete however many sets and reps are in your program, that the next time you come back to that exercise, you need to add more weight. If you have bicep curls 3x10 in your routine, that's 3 sets of 10 reps at whatever your current working weight is. But how do you find your working weight? Well, it's actually pretty easy. The first time you come to do that 3x10 bicep curls, I want you to start with a weight that you can lift. Now that'll take minor experimentation on the front end, but you'll figure it out real quick when you go 3x10 with a set of 20s or 25 and you blast right through it with zero issue. The next time you come back to do that exercise, you've got to raise that weight by 2.5, 5 pounds, whatever you have available to you. If you can complete it, great. Rinse, repeat, raise the weight. No big deal. If you can't complete it, then you've now arrived at what we call your working weight. Now you've created an exercise that has enough tension in it to keep your muscles always striving to do a little bit more. Almost. Yeah, it's hard. Working out's hard. So now I'm gonna tell you a couple tips to pick the type of program that's gonna work for you. With thousands of programs available online, some are free, some are paid. Before even choosing, I want you to consider the type of physique and training that you want to take up. Are you trying to grow a thick, luscious booty? Are you trying to maximize your upper body? Do you want full body strength and endurance? It doesn't really matter. There's a program out there that'll fit you, but whatever program you select has to contain the next couple things. The first thing is gonna be progressive overload, which we just covered. The second thing about a program that's gonna be successful for you is gonna be a program that works with your schedule. If you cannot get to the gym or go work out 6 days a week, then do not join that program. You're already gonna be setting yourself up for failure. 4 days a week for about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. This works with my schedule. I know that I can get to the gym at least 4 days a week. The app that contains the program that I'm on right now is called Beastly. I decided to stop just messing around at the gym, throwing around weights the way that I knew, but I picked up a professional program by somebody who actually knows what they're doing, whose clients have had consistent results. It really tracks my macros. It has dedicated rest days, videos of every single exercise in proper form, and it tracks my progressive overload over time. And it took the bite out of all the different things that you need to be tracking to optimize your fitness journey. I cannot thank David enough for putting this out there. I'm gonna leave a link in the description and the pinned comment below this video where you guys can go to the App Store and check it out. David is offering a free week trial for anybody who signs up right now. And if you sign up, you can also join a private Facebook group. There is no negativity on there. Definitely check out Beastly. It's been super helpful for tons of guys across the country already. Now, let's talk about the one thing that pretty much nobody likes about starting to work out. The sad thing is that cardio is one of the biggest turnoffs for people, especially people who are overweight, because running, even walking or rowing, if you're significantly obese, it just doesn't work. It is super hard on your joints. Things are flopping around all over the place. It's very uncomfortable. And this is a huge deterrent for people who are trying to start working out. There is nothing written that says that cardio is a requirement for weight loss. Let me say that again. Cardio is not a requirement for weight loss. I was able to lose 50 pounds of fat mass off of my body without ever stepping foot on a treadmill. That's not to say that you shouldn't do cardio. That's not to say that it's not the absolute best way to keep your heart and lungs healthy, because it is, and everyone should do cardio. I should do it, you should do it, they should do it. That guy who's been on the treadmill for the last year and hasn't lost 5 pounds yet, he's doing it wrong. What you wanna focus on, especially as a beginner, is lean muscle growth. Because the more lean mass is on your body, the more calories are gonna get burned 24 hours a day. And this is exactly why it worked for me. Way too many people first starting out get turned off in general because cardio is so damn hard if you're out of shape. As long as your diet and whatever program you're on is on point, I'm telling you right now, stop letting it do that to you. You do not have to do cardio to lose weight. So that is a big ol' honking list of a bunch of things that I wish that I would have learned earlier. And now that you know what these things are, hopefully you implement some of this stuff earlier in your own fitness journeys so that you can get where you want to be that much faster. I will go into more detail on these topics in future videos, as well as guy stuff, dude stuff, dad stuff on an almost weekly basis. As long as I'm not in bed sick, I'm gonna be putting out videos. I'm Brad, and not so single dad. That's Marley. When you are balls deep in your fitness routine, now that you've learned all this stuff that I wish I knew, those gym bunnies, they're gonna want to see you come.